Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those eagle-eyed viewers, you might have noticed that this video is in better quality than my previous videos, and that is because I now have a camera. Paul bought me a Nixon Coolpix A900 for Mother's Day, so I now have an actual camera as opposed to my iPhone 6, which did not give us good resolution. So you should be able to see me in HD now. I don't know if you want to, but there you go. So today we're going to film my newborn essentials. Finn is now 5 weeks old, so I've got a pretty good grasp on what has been absolutely integral to us in the last 5 weeks. There are a couple of things that I bought that I probably wouldn't have, so I might do a newborn regret buys, which I really loved watching on YouTube before. But I really think that it's completely different for each person. I've seen some things on people's regret buys that I absolutely love and that we couldn't have lived without, and similarly I've seen things on the newborn essentials of other people that I think, we haven't really used that. So I would say that as a massive disclaimer before we start. It depends on you and your baby. My main piece of advice would be try and hold off buying massive expensive things before your baby arrives, and maybe just see how your baby takes to things. We haven't bought a sling yet. Actually, we bought an Aldi sling that was $19.99, I think, or maybe even cheaper than that. I'll link it down below. Just to see how he feels about it, and he actually really likes it, so we'll go out and buy a more expensive one now. But some babies hate slings, so it would have been a complete waste of money. So things like that would be a good tip. Number one is our Sleepyhead Deluxe, which he's actually asleep in right now. This was a lot of money. I think it was about £125, and before the baby was born I thought, I'm not spending that amount of money on a pillow. Luckily my mum bought it us for Christmas, because I don't think I would have bought it myself, but it has been an absolute game changer. On night one we tried to put him in the next to me. He just looked like a little tiny dot. He looked absolutely tiny and is next to me, and he didn't sleep at all. He stayed up all night. He would only sleep in our arms. So the next night we put him in the Sleepyhead between us on top of the covers, and he slept like a baby. There's a reason that's a saying. So yeah, I think the great thing about the Sleepyhead is that you can carry it downstairs. You can sleep in it downstairs. You can take it up with you at night if they've fallen asleep with you downstairs. If you're not comfortable leaving them upstairs yet on their own, they can just sleep downstairs with you until you go to bed. I know some people are a bit critical of it. I think that as long as you are aware and they are next to you at all times and you've not just left them in a room alone in it, that it seems to be working okay for us so far. My second newborn essential is actually a couple of things which have all been essentials, but my tip, I suppose, is to create mini packs and mini changing stations for each room. So this is the one that I've created for this room. So you'll be able to see it's just a really simple storage box from IKEA. I bought a couple of these, and I also bought a couple of wicker baskets from B&M Bargains, and it just has nappies, wipes, a bottle for night time, obviously if you're breastfeeding that's not as important, a ready to drink, an Infocol, and a nappy bag, and I'll go into these items separately. But all it means is we've got one upstairs in our room, we've got one in his room in a drawer, we've got one downstairs in the living room, and one in a Tupperware box in the car with a change of outfit in each as well. So it just means that you're not running up and down the stairs all the time. You've got one in case of emergencies, and you've always got a backup there. I just keep them stocked every day, and it really does make a massive difference. So item number 3 is these MAM bottles. They are so easy to use and really easy to sterilise, and they're actually the only ones that I've seen on the market that do this. Basically, they're anti-colic already, which he hasn't suffered from colic, but I genuinely think that a reason that we've prevented it is because we've always used anti-colic bottles. I know so many of my friends that have bought normal bottles and then their baby's been really windy and they've had to go out and buy them. So I thought, why not cut out the middleman and just buy anti-colic bottles to begin with? But the great thing about MAM bottles are they're self-sterilizing. So all you do is you take the separate bits apart. You can just like unscrew them like this. They come in 4 parts. You put 20 millilitres of water in the bottom, which is actually on the lid, you can see 20 millilitres. Stack the teats in, then stack the middle bit on top and the lid, and you put it in the microwave for 3 minutes, and it self-sterilises, which means that you don't need a steriliser. You can do it when you're out and about, and it's really simple. He loves these. I think they've got 2 different kinds of teats. So they've got the first one and the second one, which is a faster flow for when they're a little bit bigger. But I genuinely couldn't have lived without these. MAM products in general, they're doing more now. I think we've got the dummies, which I'm going to talk about next, and also toothbrushes and things like that, just seem to be really innovative and time saving, and I genuinely feel like we couldn't have lived without these. So on that note, item number 4 is the MAM dummies. Similar to the bottles, they actually come in a case that you can sterilise in. At first I'd bought dummies that you had to put in hot water, but I was finding that the teats were bursting and they were getting boiling hot water in the teats, which obviously isn't safe. The great thing about the MAM dummies, these are actually 6 months plus, I think, because I bought the wrong ones, I've got newborn ones now, is they come with a little well, and all you do is fill the well with water and put them in the microwave for 3.5 minutes and they sterilise. The case is really handy to pop in your bag so you've not got loose dummies in your bag, and he's really taken to these well. I've actually got some glow in the dark ones, which is great for the middle of the night when you're just searching for that dummy to put back into the mouth and you can't find it. I know that dummies are a little bit of a controversial topic, but he doesn't rely on them, he doesn't need them to sleep, he just uses them every now and again when he needs to suck but he's not hungry anymore. And my mum always says you can take away dummies but you can't take away fingers or thumbs. So that is something that I'm going to live by. They're not for everyone, and if they're not for you, that's fine. But if you're going to go for a dummy, the MAM ones are great. Our next newborn essential is WaterWipes. So again, I've heard mixed reviews around these, not around the quality of the products, but around the price. So they're about £2.70 each for a pack, and you can get a pack of 4 for about a tenner. I was a bit sceptical at first. I bought them for the very beginning when you have to go to hospital and take cotton wool and boiled water, and the only other option is to take these WaterWipes because the midwives seem to like them. So I thought, well, I'll buy them in the beginning and then I'll just use normal wipes, and I've actually got normal wipes that we could use. But I've tried normal wipes after these and they just don't seem to work as well. They're not as wet, they don't work as effectively, and Finn hasn't had any nappy rash or any sort of discomfort, and we change a lot of nappies every day. They're 99.9% water and the rest is fruit extract. They're really soft on baby's skin and they keep super moist, so they're really effective. You only really need one wipe when you're doing a wee, obviously a couple more if you're doing a pre-nammy. And there's 60 in a pack. I would genuinely recommend these. My next newborn essential is the Grow Egg. So it comes from the Grow company. They do grow bags, they do a variety of different swaddles and different products like that. They also do Ollie the Owl, which we bought, which is like a white noise machine, which we haven't actually used that much of. But the Grow Egg's great. Basically, you just put it in the room that the baby's going to be sleeping in, and it tells you the temperature, and it changes colour from green to amber to red to tell you if it's the room's okay. It does a little smiley face if the room's okay, or if it's too hot. You'd be surprised how hot we sleep in a room with. You'd be surprised how hot the room is that you usually sleep in. I think it needs to be between like 16 and 19 degrees for a baby, which is actually quite chilly. But obviously if they're wearing a vest and a sleep suit and a sleeping bag, then it can be a little bit warm for them. So I have found this really useful. My husband hates it because it glows in the dark and he can't sleep with it, but I think it's really useful. Our next newborn essential have been a sleeping bag. So I actually have one from the White Company that we love that's in the wash at the moment because he uses that much, but this one's for mamas and papas. It comes in a pack of 2 and they are just fab. We tried the blankets to begin with. He would wiggle his way out of them. We tried swaddling, he didn't like it. So these sleeping bags are really simple. They just zip up the side and then they have poppers at the top. So all I do at night when I'm changing him in the middle of the night is that I just unzip the bottom, change him, then zip it back up again, which is fine as long as he doesn't wee on me. And then I zip him back up again to keep him warm and just unpop at the top to wind him. And they've been really effective for us. I know that some you can't use until they're £10, so they all have weight restrictions on them, and there's different togs for different seasons, so just make sure you check those before you use them. My next newborn essential is white onesies and vests. So these are from mamas and papas. Before he was born, I went out and bought really expensive separates, and he has worn them occasionally, but for the first 2 weeks of his life, he was predominantly in these onesies. Always make sure you get the ones with inbuilt scratch mitts and also feet, so you're not faffing about with socks or scratch mitts separately. These are super comfy, they wash really well, and I bought them in newborn size, and then these are 0 to 3 because he's gone into the next size up. So he sleeps in these, but also for the first 2 weeks, he just wore them constantly because they were really easy to just throw on and change him in. I also bought a load of vests from Marks and Spencer's. You can get like a pack of 7 for £11, and these are really lovely as well. I found that Marks and Spencer's is an absolute staple for kind of like sleep suits, for vests, for socks, for comfy, nice quality 100% cotton stuff, and it doesn't cost the earth either. So definitely invest in sleep suits, invest before you go out and buy the fancy £25 outfits that they'll grow out of instantly. We also brought him home from the hospital in this, so I'm going to just make sure that I keep that, but I wouldn't go out and buy ridiculously expensive outfits. He's actually wearing a Ralph Lauren outfit today that my mum bought, and he's going to grow out of it within the next sort of week, so you'd be amazed how quickly they grow. So don't waste your money, just buy the sleep suits. They look super cute all in white anyway. The next item that we just couldn't live without are muslin squares. So before I had the baby, everyone harped on about muslin squares, especially Aiden and Anais, and I didn't actually buy any of those because I thought they were really expensive. And I thought, how essential are these actually going to be? Turns out, really essential. So I just have a basket of these upstairs that I just keep a load of different ones in. These are from B&M Bargains, these are from IKEA, I've got some from Tesco, some from Asda. So they're just really large, sort of like cotton squares that you can use for everything. You can use for coverage if you're going to be breastfeeding in public and you don't want to be on show. You can use them to wipe up sick, you can use them to swaddle them. There's a million different things that you can use them for, but always have a muzzy handy. They are so useful. We have one in the baby bag, one upstairs, one downstairs, and you can just throw them in the washing machine. And if you get decent quality ones, you don't have to spend a bomb, and they actually get softer the more you wash them. So definitely invest in muslin squares. Our final newborn essential, and I genuinely hated these before we bought them, were the Cellular blankets. So the little blankets with holes in, you can get different sizes, cot bed sizes, pram sizes. We bought a ton from the White Company, the little ribbon edged ones that he seems to like in blue, and we also have these for mums and papas in white. I hated them because they're not particularly soft, and you can get such nicer like cashmere blankets and cotton blankets, but for peace of mind these have been amazing in the first couple of weeks of his life. So basically the reason that they have holes in them is because they are breathable, and you will find that you'll put your baby to bed with a blanket, or you'll put your baby for a nap with a blanket, or in the car seat, in the pram, and before you've noticed they've got the blanket over their face. And obviously these are breathable, so there's no danger to them, they can breathe through them, and it just gives you that extra little peace of mind in a time where you're already checking your baby's breathing 5 times an hour. So it really does help. I would recommend Cellular blankets, and I actually haven't swapped to normal blankets yet because I just don't feel like we're ready to do that yet. I just rather would be safe than sorry. So that's it in terms of my newborn essential, guys. Let me know in the comments below if I've missed anything that you found absolutely integral in the first couple of weeks of your baby's life, or similarly if there's things that you love as well that have been on the list. I'm hopefully going to do more mobile videos. I'm starting Pim's nursery now, so I'm definitely going to do a nursery tour now. I've got the camera. I just need to sharpen up my editing skills, so if you guys have got any tips for that, that would be great. Comment down below if there's anything more you'd like to see, and I will see you next week. Bye.